Listen, I really want you to finish 2023 very strongly and get ready and do much better in 2024. Therefore, I'm going to do something that I have never done before. I'm going to give you access to a private exclusive call that I have done with the members of Business Lending Blueprint. I call it News and Views, where I go through what we do, what's happening in the lending industry, in the credit industry, how our members can have access to exclusive information to position yourself properly so they not only make a lot of money, build businesses, but they also help other businesses, showing them, teaching them how to finish the year amazingly well, financially speaking, and get super ready for what's coming in 2024. A lot of people are very concerned about 2024, and the system is pushing this agenda that is going to be extremely difficult. There's not much you can do. You got to brace for impact. Well, and contrary to that wrong belief, we believe in our community that we're positioning ourselves with the best tools, being in the best industry, no matter what happens with the economy, with the stock market, with the crypto industry, with the presidential elections and all of that. We know that we're going to have a very strong year because we're in the alternative lending industry. None of those things affect us negatively. We can pivot easily, and we are in the industry of pretty much helping people make money, and we make money doing so. So that way they get access to personal credit, business credit, and make money that way. I want you to have access to this call, at least maybe change your perception on certain things and how you look at finances, how you look at your position in this, and how you can change the trajectory of your entire life and your finances in 60 to 90 days. And I wanted to make it available to you. So hopefully you appreciate it and you get value out of it. If you do, that's my entire purpose. Whether you join my community or not, that's not my intention. I just wanted to have you access to this and keep it on the back of your head. Some of the principles that have helped me build multiple 8-figure companies, and I am hoping that some of these will help you to a better financial and mindset future. So without further ado, please check it out. If you do like it, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and comment below. I genuinely want to hear from you and your thoughts. As you might know, I do these on a monthly basis. So we go through what has been happening in the industry, what's been happening within BLB, what's coming up to help you succeed through BLB in your journey as a business loan broker. Some of you had an amazing year. Some of you recently joined and trying to figure it out. So this was a step forward in the right direction that will help you go from point A to point B. Some of you joined this and you maybe haven't really done much, but you're ambitious, you're coming back. So I'm going to touch on a couple of things on this call today. A couple of things you might think in certain industries this happens, but in our industry it doesn't really work. So in certain industries, it's the year end, it slows down automatically. It's the holiday season, everyone is away, everyone is shopping, and there's not much to do. In the alternative lending industry, it is the total opposite. Ever since the beginning of the holiday season, one thing I kept mentioning over and over again is that the businesses that we deal with are just getting ready for the holiday season. So if you're a small business, one of the ways that you get ready for holiday season is you need inventory. You need to buy things in bulk so you can sell them, because when you buy things in bulk, you get a better deal, right? So that's the whole deal with the Cyber Monday, Black Friday. Everyone is looking for a deal, and that's the situation with the business owners that we serve in the lending industry. So then one way to help them is help them acquire inventory. So, and if you do have prospects that you worked with in the past and they didn't really need the money immediately, one way to connect with them is to remind them, hey, can we help you buy more inventory at a better price? I can provide you capital for that. The second thing, which is a major opportunity, is many people come up with ideas for the holiday season to start a seasonal business. So this happens in shopping malls, for example, those kiosks, right? So I used to know people, and some of them are my friends. They would only work 3 months of the year. They would be selling candies, teddy bear, toys for the kids, sunglasses, and makeup and all of that. And usually through the busiest season, like from September all the way up to at the end of January, they will be making a lot of sales. But if you're in that situation, that requires a lot of inventory. But the thing is, more importantly, they're startup businesses. So they usually need 20, 30, 50, 100K. Those are the people that you can help tremendously if you reach out to people, if you kind of modify your marketing to let them know that holiday season is here. US consumers will spend billions of dollars. And so far, based on the article that I read on Wall Street Journal, the holiday season has been going amazing for the US economy. So a lot of people are spending money. So one way for us to take advantage of that, even this month, this has started from like the end of September, the beginning of November, but we're still on the second week of December. There's still 2 more weeks, and there are many people who either A, are planning to start a business, or B, they're running low on inventory. They want to grow. They want to buy more things. So this is the perfect time to reach out to people. So don't get into the holiday mindset. That's usually how consumers think, right? Consumers think that, oh, I'm going to have off from my job for Christmas, New Year's, and all that. But as business owners, we have a responsibility, and we are in the alternative lending industry. Instead of looking forward to the time off, we look forward to making a lot more money and closing December super, super strong. That's very possible. Even if you finish December with 3 deals, 4 deals, that's going to accumulate up to 10, 15K, depending on the size of the deal, right? So just change your focus to that. So I know usually people get complacent because at the end of the year, but we get a lot more excited. And also, even if you can't help someone in December, January is right around the corner. And that's when people need to replenish what they're doing. And they make all these New Year's resolutions, from losing weight to starting a business, bettering their finances. All of that helps us. Like whatever they want to do, we can help them start a business out of that, or we can help them grow a business out of that. Or if they want to invest in real estate, right? One of the goals that people have, which was my goal when I was 27 years old, I wanted to have enough passive income in case something happens to me, all of my expenses were paid off at the time. So I was 25. This goes back to, I don't know, more than 10 years ago. My monthly expenses were about $3,500 or so, right? So in my mind, I said, okay, so if I have 3 properties, these are 2 to 4 unit properties, the net income should be over $3,000. So that was my resolution to myself. And within 2.5 years, me and my wife, we ended up buying 3 properties. And in fact, the net income from all 3 was about $3,500. So that was a done deal. So there are people like that who set goals, but they don't really know. Like, I didn't know how I was going to get properties. I didn't know anything about creative financing. In my mind, I was kind of panicking because my income was low and then my expenses were low too, but I was very uncertain about my future, right? I didn't know how things would play out. I didn't really have amazing skill sets and other things other than selling, and I was trying to learn about marketing. So I was going through a period of my life with a lot of uncertainty, and one way to do that is just, when you set up a financial goal, because having proper finances removes a lot of the uncertainty from your life, and it gives you time to build the skill sets. So there are a lot of people who are doing that who will need to buy real estate. There's investment properties where we have lenders who can help with that too. But I think besides that's the business part. On a personal part, I don't really like New Year's resolutions. It's just another number. If you have not been prepping all year for the next stage of your life, just because we went from 23 to 24 overnight, on the last night of December, will not automatically make a difference for you. So the one exercise that I do with myself and the people that I know that I recommend, you set your goals immediately today. You don't wait for the New Year's resolution. I know it might be fun to talk about during the Christmas party and what you're going to accomplish next, but it's far better to give yourself the next, 20 days to start working on it. So when you start the new year, you've done some work. Obviously, you guys, all of you have done some work. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been here. You joined BLB. Some of you are brand new, right? So that's awesome. But it is very important to start with the right plan. What is it that I need right now to keep my current standard of living? 78% of the people in the United States, they do not really know how much they need to sustain their current standard of living. So that's why things get out of control. If you fall sick, or if you don't know what you're doing with your credit cards, and you end up spending more than what you need, and now you're in a hole for a few $1,000s a month. So it's an important point to recognize that, because then you can reverse engineer, meaning that you know that you need to make $5,000 no matter what. And then your brain triggers the question of, okay, what do I need to do to make $5,000? Well, you need to close, let's say, 3 deals. Okay, what do I need to do to close 3 deals? Assuming that you have 10 potential leads and you need to close 3 of them, 30% of them convert into funded deals. You need to find 10 people who are looking for funding. How many people do I need to talk to? Talk to doesn't mean that you need to call them and telemarket and cold call, but how many people do I need to be in connection with? It could be through the marketing, lead generation that we teach you through LinkedIn, Facebook groups, even paid advertising, organic, even the people that even if you know nothing, you can pretty much go to LinkedIn and start messaging people, or go to Google and find the business in your area, and they all have contact boxes on their website. They can say hi and introduce yourself. So in order to find 10 opportunities, you'll probably need to connect with 50 people or so. That's not a lot. If you spread it across the next 20 days, 50 people, that's like, what is it? 20 days, 50 people, that's like 2.5 people a day. When you think about it, that's not a lot. The goal is to get to that 5K. If the goal is to get the 10K, then you adjust the goals. Because otherwise, if you look at a problem from the surface level without reverse engineering it, it looks like a huge problem. You might kind of look back and say, whoa, I need to make make 10K through this business. That's a lot of money. See how that can get really scary. But if you break it down, chunk it down into smaller pieces, now it comes down to finding 10 people, maybe 15 people a day. And we have ways to automate that. So then you're just working out the numbers through each step of the funnel. So you have 10 people in the funnel, but you somehow cannot fund 3 of them. Then you know that that's the problem of that specific step. What happened? The 10 people that I qualified maybe were not the right person. They were not really motivated. Then you fix that part. But if you collectively look at this one giant problem in your mind, that's your perception of the problem. And if you don't hit that goal, you might go, this business doesn't work. This sucks. I tried everything. Usually that's what I hear from people. I tried everything. Well, if we break it down, I think we'll find out that it's not that you have tried everything. There's no way that anyone can try everything. It's just you didn't really trace it back to the source of the problem. If you did, it would have been a lot easier for you to figure out what chunk of the problem you need to fix. In marketing, it's called optimization. Like you optimize the areas and help them push it to the next level. If 10% of the people convert, how do you increase it to the 15%? Maybe it is one thing that you said. Maybe it's one thing you didn't say. It's one thing you asked, one thing you didn't ask. And it gets a lot easier. And that's honestly where it becomes kind of fun. So you're kind of building this framework, you're building this machine. Once it starts humming, it just generates results over and over again. We call it the boring ways of making a lot of money. If you look at our members who've been consistently generating 10, 15, 20, 30K, they kind of repeat the same thing over and over again. You don't need to innovate anything when you're selling money. We're not selling a super high-end technology product that's not proven. We're not in the crypto industry. So we're in the industry of helping people buy things or invest into things or grow their business or save their business. It's a pretty straightforward concept. It's just you got to figure out how you're tracing it back to your specific need. If you're making 5K right now, your goal is usually doubling that number or getting it to 7, 8K. So that puts you in a financially comfortable situation while reducing your stress, while reducing your time commitment, while reducing your commitment to location that you're living in. Because if you do this online, it gives you more opportunities to pretty much move to an ideal area that you can work out of if you want to. And the last part of this is the stretch. If you were to be able to fast forward to 6 months, a year from now, how much would you like to make? What would be a dream come true for you if you were that person, right? So would it be making $20,000? This number should be high. It's almost like borderline unrealistic because you never accomplished this. If you've never made $20,000 a month, that's a pretty stretch, like a mental stretch too. Your mind is going between back and forth saying, nah, that can't happen. That's too much. And next day it goes, maybe if we try hard enough. And as you get yourself closer to that goal, then it becomes more and more realistic. First, you reach your stretch, which is, let's say, your $10,000, and you were making $5,000 until last month. You just double your income in, let's say, 30 to 90 days. Whoa, now it's more believable for you to reach the next level. The most common problem people make when they're making projections or setting up income goals or New Year resolutions, they take the bar too high that their mind is like, dude, that's bullshit. Like, you will never get there. What are you even thinking? And at the first sight of failure or first time you trip and fall, your mind is like, I told you, that would have never worked out. You're not going to make 20, 30K. But if you create the tranches, like 3 levels, it makes it a lot more easier for you to believe that it is realistic. And it's far easier to track it back to the specific action. And if you have very limited time to do that, I know a lot of you guys have jobs and daily responsibilities. We have the BLB autopilot, right? You can automate a lot of the lead generation with a few clicks. You can get a hold of people that you can email if you want. You can call them, or you can send them over to our lending partners. So your contribution to the lead generation part is very minimal. There are honestly no excuses. It is what you decide to do with your time here, right? You might just join BLB and enjoy what you're learning, and it could be an educational experience for you, and you come out of it learning a lot more about how money, lending, credit works. But I think the bulk of our audience, our members, student community, wants to better their lives financially. Money gives you options, right? Either you can choose the right option or wrong option. As simple as that. The point is that you got to be clear on why you're doing what you're doing, because unless you have a strong why, like emotionally driven reason, you will lose motivation. You can't build a business off of motivation. Motivation wears out, and you wake up one day and then you don't feel like doing this anymore or doing anything at all. That creates a lot of oscillation, inconsistencies in your life, right? Then how do you stay
stay consistent, you have to cling your goals to a much bigger thing than yours, which is your why, right? So my why has changed over the years. Initially, it was a survival. I just wanted to make more money for my family. Well, I'm not in that situation anymore, thankfully. The why is to help as many people as possible to pretty much see what I've seen and what's not being talked about in our school system, in our educational system, in our politics. People need to know how money moves and how lending works, how credit works. Instead of being the one consuming all of those products, it's much better to be the one providing it. So you not only you help the people, but you're not being the end product. You're being the person who's providing, and meanwhile, you're building a lot of wealth for yourself. So that's the point. Once you identify it through this holiday season, I want you to all focus on that. Don't wait until January 1st. Just take a moment after this call if you have time, or tonight, when everyone goes to sleep. But a lot of the deep thinking stuff needs to be happen in silence. That's why on this call today, I wanted to focus less on the specifics of the program, how this works, the LinkedIn marketing, autopilot, this and that, but more on, well, how do you better yourself? Because it's very difficult to help others unless you start thinking about helping yourself first and, fill your cup before you can help others. So it's not on how you're going to reach success. That's already given to you. I guess the one thing I want each one of you to figure out is why you're doing this. Like, what's going to support you through this process? What's going to keep you pushing for the next 30, 60, 90 days? And I guarantee you that if you stick with this for the next 90 days, there's no way that you're going to fail. That's why when you start with smaller win, what is my first win? Don't make the goals about, step one is I need to make $3,000. Sure, you'll get there, but you can, if you chunk it up into smaller steps, you can get there in 7 days, 10 days, 15 days. So 85% of the game of this business is in the mindset. 15% is the tools, the training, and all that stuff. If you know how to handle situations, it's called mental frameworks. What framework are you using to decide what's a win and what's a loss? And that's super, super important. That's why hopefully this call today is helpful. What I expect from each one of you to succeed, not just next year, because we don't want to push it to next year, like starting from today. On this topic, I think you guys get the point on how I personally look at things to reach success. Because if you tackle this, everything else will fall into place. I'm not special, so we can all do that.